Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. Cognify could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain. These complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by Cognify would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The Cognify concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. First, the prisoner is given a choice, either spending tens of years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation. If the prisoner chooses to undergo fast-track rehabilitation, the Cognify device is used. Next, the prisoner undergoes high-resolution brain scanning to create a detailed map of their neural pathways. This brain map helps guide the Cognify device to target specific brain regions responsible for memory, reasoning, and logical thinking, such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, parietal lobe, and anterior cingulate cortex. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognify is then placed around the head of the prisoner.
So this video is not for Christians, but for the non-Christians. At least that's who I'm trying to focus on here. Because I have a question for you. You see that video, I understand it's a concept. It's not a reality right now. But what we need to understand is that they have the technology for it. And that is something that I want to ask you about. Because if you see this, I'm sure you know where I'm going as far as how to apply it towards the Bible. Because what you see in the Bible is in Revelation 13, there's the mark of the beast that is introduced to the world, which takes place at 3.5 years into the tribulation. That's when the mark of the beast is going to be released. And when it's released, that means that it has already been worked on up until that point. So they don't just create it overnight on day 3.5 years into it. So they already had the technology leading up to that time is what I want you to be sensitive to. But with that understanding, if you do not believe the Bible is true, if you're one of those people, I just wonder what your thoughts are on seeing something like this. Now, obviously, that video, again, is a concept, but it's actually based on real science. And that is something that is provoking, very thought-provoking. And they've already successfully implanted false memories in mice. That's interesting as well. And so whether or not this concept is real, we need, or the program, this idea, it's called Cognify, whether or not it's going to actually exist, I would argue that they already have the technology to do this kind of stuff. Because when you start thinking about it, the thing I want you to consider is if they are releasing technology like this, the phone that you're holding in your hand, if they are allowing us to have ChatGPT and Sora and Qwen and Claude and DeepSeek and all of these AI technologies, all these models, if they're allowing us to have it, then the question you need to be asking is, what do they have? Because they don't give us stuff like this unless they have something 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years down the road already. And so if they're allowing us to have this, then they must have something far, far in advance to what we have. And what you see down here in this article is you see this research, the research of Cognify, that video that we just watched, this research alongside new AI developments like OpenAI's text-to-video model Sora forms the technical basis for Cognify. So what's interesting about this is how everything's lining up. All of the models that have been released to us, like ChatGPT, OpenAI, you have Sora, you have Qwen, all of those models that have been released to us have been the technical basis for Cognify. And so basically what I want you to be sensitive to is that without these models, without OpenAI and all those, then this wouldn't even be a possibility. And so basically what I want you to see is that this is all building blocks. And with all of these being building blocks, they're building blocks to something. And the thing that it's building to is what is going to be introduced during the Great Tribulation. And that is what I want you to be sensitive to. This is all What's happening right now is the foundation. You're seeing the writing on the wall. Something else to be sensitive to on top of all of that is that during the Great Tribulation, during the last 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation, before Jesus returns, there's going to be a one world system that is going to be enacted. And during that one world system, people are not going to be able to buy or sell unless they get the mark of the beast. Now, the reason I'm talking about this right now is to get you to understand that in order for somebody to control whether or not you buy or sell, that means that there's going to be a couple things that need to take place. Number one of the things that needs to take place is that money, cash, or money in general, it needs to change. Whatever the system is right now, it's going to be different during then. That's something that we need to be sensitive to. And so with that being true, that means that the cash, the money, the currency that we are using right now needs to change. And that's really interesting because right now, if I want to go buy something off of you, let's say I want to buy a pair of shoes off of you or something like that, I can give you a literal $100 bill and nobody knows that I bought it off of you. Well, that's not how it's going to be during this tribulation period. During the tribulation period, it says that you cannot buy or sell without the mark of the beast. So the currency, the stuff that is going to be valuable during this time is going to be different. And this is why it's interesting seeing what's going on in the crypto world. Because Donald Trump, he made a post, he said, I will make sure that the US is the crypto capital of the world. So you see us getting closer and closer to a digital currency. Here are some cryptos that are going to be in the United States Reserve, and you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, SOL, XRP, ADA. So you're seeing the shift. You're seeing us having cash. Cash is king still, but it's not backed by anything. It used to be backed up by gold, and that gold went away. Now you're seeing a whole bunch of people paying attention to Fort Knox, and people want to know if there's gold inside Fort Knox. And so I want you to question what's going to happen when they go in there and they live stream it and they show us that there's no gold there. They're going to, or some, whatever, just kind of just run a scenario out in your head. But basically there's going to have to be a reason to get to this different system enacted. And so they're going to spin something. And obviously I need you to recognize that it's going to be very, very convenient. They're going to say it's going to be unhackable. They're going to say it's going to be the most safe way, like it's going to be very secure. They're going to throw a whole bunch of words on top of it to make it seem very, very good. And that's just the way they're going to package it when they deliver it to you and I. But my point is that we need to recognize that is coming. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. And so when you know that it's not going to be stopped, then you can look out into the world and you can start seeing how we're actually going to get there. And what's fascinating about the world that we're living in right now is that you can see how we're getting there very, very quickly. And it's happening real time. You're seeing stuff it's 1 foot in front of the other at this point. It's no longer a little baby that's like rolling over and, learning to roll on it back onto its stomach, back onto its stomach. No, that child is now walking, it's running, it's full speed ahead. It is just non-stop, and it's going to keep on going. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's no longer crawl, walk, run. It is nothing but run right now. And so with that kind of idea in mind, as far as how fast the world is picking up, you can see what's headed or what's up ahead. And what seems to be up ahead is that we're closer and closer to the rapture. And so I believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. If you disagree, that's fine. But just recognize that you're seeing the writing on the wall on every different front, in every different arena. It is just right in our faces right now. And so I need you to get stirred up, and even more so as you see the day approaching. And I believe we see the day approaching right now.